What's up, dudes? This is Will from Jimmy's Corner, and I'm joined today by the Aether God. We're going to go over the 2.11 patch notes for Jurassic World Alive going out on Tuesday. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So, starting things off, we have a new flock creature, Sinosauropteryx, the red trash panda from China. These little guys are going to be a damage reducing specialist, opting with a basic distraction and a high pounce, as well as their classic ability for all flock creatures, Absorb. Better bust out those groupal moves if you want to make a chance against them. But that's not all from the trash pandas. They also are getting their own unique hybrid, Cyanocoda Raptor, the legendary hybrid. So these guys are, I don't know how these guys are going to be because they're apparently flock creatures, but they're also going to be quite large. So it'll be interesting if they're going to keep the Dakota Raptor size or are they going to still remain small. Regardless of that, I think these are probably going to be my favorite creature of this update. Starting off with their abilities, we have a basic attack of Distraction, Sidestep, a Cunning Impact, and a Precise Pounce. They also have the ability Alert the Flock and a new ability Caution on Escape, which when the enemy attempts to swap, there's a 75% chance to dodge 67% of the damage. So be careful when you swap, boys. You're going to power these guys up. Oh, and they also have the Absorb ability of all flock creatures. Up next is another legendary hybrid, Antalysarius, components of the Antalysarius, Porkchop, and Megalosaurus. And I'll be honest with you boys, I'm kind of concerned about this one. So starting off with its swap-in ability, it has the swap-in slow that it got acquired from Antalysarius, which is okay. It has a superiority strike with it, which it also got from Porkchop, Mutual Fury again, Dig In, which I'm assuming it got from Megalosaurus, and Revenge Shattering Rampage. Now, personally, I don't know why you want to opt for this when you can have the Intellichops, which is arguably does what this thing does, but better. But at least you have Dig In with this one, so yay. So next up, we have Obalofa Malik, another legendary creature. Surprise! Yeah, who could have seen that coming? And it is described as a cunning, resilient gambler. Even though looking at the moveset, it's pretty much just cunning. I don't know where the Brazilian comes in, and you'll see why in a second. So, for its basic move, it has Devious Strike, pretty good move on its own. It has Alert Distracting Impact. Now this one has two abilities. So, on the first attack, if the HP is over 50%, it's going to guarantee critical for 100%, and it's going to reduce attack by 100% for 2 turns. Very powerful. However, if you lose half your health, it's gonna still hit you with a critical. It's only gonna do 50% of the damage. It's basically gonna be a distracting impact move, which is still good on its own. It's also got a group cunning impact, and it also possesses a new move. It has Sly, Rampage, and Run, which is bizarre. So what it does is it's going to reduce damage to the opponent for 50% for 2 turns. Because it's a Rampage move, it's going to deal 2 times damage. And here's the, I don't know what the heck they were thinking with this one. It's going to give you 50% shields, and it's going to automatically swap you. I don't see the point in the shields, but maybe this thing is going to have an interesting metagame. So we'll see how that goes in tournaments. The last hybrid we'll be taking a look at is the Parasothops. This one's going to be composed of 2 legendary creatures. The first one is the hybrid Acrocanthops, and the second one is the Parasaurolophus Lux. Yes, you heard me, ladies and gentlemen, the Parasaurolophus Lux is getting a hybrid. Hybrid kind of sucks a little bit. So, starting off with its moves, it's got a tough group Cunning Strike. Cunning Strike that attacks the group, pretty self-explanatory, don't overthink it. Next, and this one's probably the more interesting move, is Alert Instant Heal. So this move has 2 abilities. If the creature is secure, it is going to heal and cleanse the team by 1.5. I don't know what that means, but I'm going to assume it's going to be basically in between the minor and the greater heal. Now, if it's threatened, it's going to cleanse again, and it's going to heal for 2 times, which is probably going to buff everyone up to full health. And speaking of full health, it also brought the greater group heal that it has Parasaurolophus Lux. And then it's also going to possess Resilient Rampage Revenge, also brought in from its parent. Not sure how this is going to affect the game. It seems like this is Ludia's attempt to curve Turamoloch without nerfing it, which by all means fantastic, because Parasothops Deluxe sucks. So slow for its moveset. I don't like that the acro is also pretty slow, so I have a feeling this is going to be slow. So don't worry about that, folks. You're still going to get Turamoloch as your main healer in these raids. Speaking of its passive abilities, it has the counter power heal, so yay. It also has a fierce swap-in strike, which I think was Ludia's attempt. What they're going to be doing is you're going to be swapping this, I'm assuming, tanky glass cannon into the battlefield, tank a hit, and then heal itself with the power heal before moving on and attacking with its own moves. That's the end of the new creatures. Now we're going to talk about the new abilities. So, starting off with Alert Fatal Strike. While you're secure, you're going to cleanse vulnerability. You're going to remove the opponent's shields. You're going to bypass their armor, and you're going to deal your basic hit damage. But while threatened, now it takes on a more sinister move. You're going to still cleanse your vulnerability. You're still going to bypass armor and shields, but now you're going to deal 60% of the total opponent's damage. You're going to be dealing a rending move. The next one is a Tough Groove Cunning Strike. You attack the team and you deal cunning damage. Don't overthink it, that's pretty much it. Next is Resilient Rampage Revenge. So, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's the basic Resilient Rampage. You remove cloak, you're going to decrease speed, and you're also going to be dealing 2 times damage while making the opponent vulnerable. But, while in its revenge state, there is no delay, so you can attack immediately. And then we have the Fierce Swap-In Strike. You swap the creature in and it buffs its damage by 1% for the next move. Congratulations. Alert Instant Heal, already covered. You're going to heal 1.5 while secure. And while threatened, you're going to heal 2 times. You have a delay of 1 and a cooldown of 2. Cautious on Escape. So, when your opponent attempts to swap out, you're going to get a 75% chance to dodge the next attack coming in. And you're also going to increase your speed by 10% for the next 2 moves. Critical on the Escape, on the other hand, is going to increase your critical hit chance for 100% for the next turn. Sly, Rampage, and Run, already covered. So it seems kind of ludicrous. I don't know what they're thinking. And lastly, Alert, Distracting Impact. Again, already covered. Pretty good move. This is probably going to be my favorite move of this moveset. So, daily gifts are finally coming into the game. If you played Pokemon Go, the same principle applies. It says here that for every 7, basically for every week that you continue to do it, you get a reward, and as you keep continuously doing it, you'll get a bigger reward. Neat. But, you want more? Of course you want more. Everyone wants more. It says here, check out the one-time gift below the gifts calendar, and you will finally be able to progress more. In the example down below, we have a Echo, a Triceratops, and a Gen 2 T-Rex. Now, I'm hoping that they rotate these things around. If you were around when they introduced the Alliance rewards, Sinosauropteryx was the freaking thing, was your daily challenge. 2 months. Still have over 15k in Sinosauropteryx DNA just because of that one event. And here we go to the worst part about this update, the new revamped unlock system. So skipping down to the very important stuff, they have released a new table. So they finally found a way to stop the lower level players from getting the higher level creatures, particularly the Apex raids. Now you're going to have to be level 18 to participate in Apex raids and 16 for unique raids. So goodbye to being in the lower level battle arenas and running into something like a Sarah Magnus. You're never going to deal with that again, except for the people that unlocked it already, so sorry. So the update's going to finally swap out one of the veteran raid bosses. That's right, folks. Dracula is finally roosting south, and in its place, we're getting a very aggressive Nurse Joy to take its spot. They're also going to be introducing 4 new achievements. Can you believe that? 4 new achievements. How many achievements? 4. So starting off with mega donations. So the first thing you're going to be doing is donating 1,000 DNA of the heck do you say that? Megalotops. Megalotops, which was that one? Oh, right, it's the sloth with the... No, whatever, I'll look it up later. Next, you have Bioluminescent Predator. Pretty standard, just evolve your Parasothops to level 22. Good luck with that if you can't find any Hadroslux, because I got it. Yeah, fine. Next, Pest Control. They're really pushing for this hybrid. Use the Antalysarius to defeat 3 flocks. Pretty straightforward, don't overthink it. Next is 100 million direct hits ago. Get 150 direct hits on Archaeopteryx. Alright, and moving to creature updates, and oh my god, there is a lot here. Alright, so starting off with Dymodactylus. So first things first, it is getting a armor piercing counter. I swore it had one, but okay, that's what we're dealing with. It's also going to get its attack buff by 100, going from 1,000 to 1,100. Its health is also going to increase, going from 3,000 to 3,450. Going to get 1 point extra in speed, buffing it up to 127. And its critical chance is going to increase by 10, going from 5% to 15%. Next up is Dimetrodon. They're finally buffing its attack, going from 1,000 to 1,200. Scuna also got a pretty good buff for once. So its group deceleration strike is now going to become a group decelerating impact, giving it more power. Its health is also going to increase from 3,300 to 3,600, and it's going to get a small speed buff of 4, going from 113 to 107. It's also going to get some new resistances. So it's going to get a damage reduction of 50% and a vulnerability resistance of 50%. Are we going to finally start seeing Dusaguna in tournaments? Probably not, but it's nice that they're finally taking a look at the lower creatures. Rylinkin is also getting a small update. Its no escape ability is going to become stunning obstruction, and it's going to get its speed changed from 126 to 129. Dilocyrus. So they're finally taking a notice of the other healer in the game. So its cunning impact is going to become a revenge cunning rampage, which is finally going to give it more chance to shine. Its attack is going to go up from 1,500 to 1,600. It's also going to increase its speed from 125 to 127, and its critical chance is going to go up from 5% to 10%. Another unique hybrid to finally get some chance to shine is the Pterovexis. It's going to get 2 new abilities. It's going to get an escape evasive strike. And its distracting impact is going to become distracting rampage, hopefully giving it more power. And speaking of power, its attack is going to go up from 1,000 to 1,200. Its speed is also going to get a small adjustment of 129 to 130, and its critical chance is also going to go up by 10, going from 5% to 15%. Quetzorian is also going to get a pretty big buff to itself. Its attack is going to go up 150 points, going from 1,450 to 1,600. And health is going to do the same thing. It's going to go from 4,200 to 4,350. Oh boy, the rat's going to get strong. Quiznos is coming back into fashion. Dracula is going to get a pretty interesting move around. It's going to get its instant invincibility is going to become group instant invincibility, and it's going to get an armor piercing counter. This thing is going to become more annoying than it already was, so watch out for that. Oh, its also attack is going to increase 150 points from 1,000 to 1,500. Very interesting decision to make that a group invincibility, but we'll see how that goes. Assuming raids. And lastly, we arrive at Scuna. I called it. I knew this one was going to be nerfed because it's been dominating a little bit too much. It has no real effective counter. It's just too much of a tank. But it's not too bad, and I hope it kind of stays like this because I'm kind of nervous that they're going to nerf it further down the tier. So, starting off with the ability, it's going to lose the chance to attack instantly in its distraction impact. And its medium resilient counter is going to become a decelerating counter. Cool. So yeah, it's getting a small nerf, but it's not overly substantial. Its attack is also going to fall 50 points from 1,200 to 1,500. Is it really going to matter that much? Not really. And it's going to get a very small speed bump. 170. Hooray. And the last thing to talk about in this update is the new and improved floor. Floor now has a cooldown of 2, which means block creatures are probably going to have more of a chance against Mortem. It's also going to give each team member 50% of damage. So my theory for this is Lugia is trying to give it more of a niche in raids to compete with Thor, because Thor is just an over-dominating creature and they're trying to buff their Apex. I don't think it's going to work. People have already sunk way too many boosts into Thor to give it up that fast, but we'll see how it goes. And with that, that wraps up this patch notes. What do you guys think? Are you guys excited for something? Personally, I don't really see too much changing. Most of the hybrids seem pretty generic. I don't really think there's anything too special about them, but we'll see, especially in the legendary tournaments. And I'll see if I can manage to get that Parasothops locked. So we'll see how it goes. If you like what you see here, please subscribe to the channel. We're thinking about finally expanding it and conquering chilies. Bye guys.